Hi, and welcome to another postcard process painting video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I painted this piece over here. Hi, my name is Escobar. I'm a storyboard artist on the Simpsons television show. I've been working on the show for over 25 years now, and I'm here to empower you. So today I'm going to show you how I painted this, and I can tell you right off the bat that I kind of stumbled throughout the entire painting process. I didn't know what I was doing or how to do what I wanted to do. I was using a reference photo to do this, but I had steered so far away from the actual reference that I could only use so much of it, and then I had to kind of invent the rest, which was way trickier and more difficult than I anticipated. But interestingly, I actually managed to produce a painting that I actually liked the way it looked. But I honestly, throughout the video, was going, I don't think this is going to work. Like in my head, I don't think I said it in the video itself, but I was absolutely in an absolute panic the entire time I was painting it. The other thing that I realized is that and I'm going to write this down in my sketchbook, and I'm going to make absolutely sure to make a note. But I think I've kind of figured out what it is that was messing me up throughout the entire painting process and not allowing me to get the result I wanted. And because I accidentally stumbled and kind of gave up midway through and did something different, that kind of was the thing that I should have done from the start. And so the next painting, I'm hoping I'm going to try to do it again. And I think the next painting will be a little bit more successful from the start. Like not, it'll have much more of the correct course from the beginning rather than accidentally stumbling into it. So let me show you what I did. All right, so I drew this. I have this drawing, I broke it down. So like the last the last painting I did, I'm going to try to capture like a glow. This is really difficult because I have light reference for this, but I don't have the light reference of the type of light I want to paint. So I got to invent it. So it's a little bit trickier because I can't just rely on what I have in front of me. I have to invent it. All right, so let's give it a go. So the idea here that I'm going to be thinking about is that this area here in this area, I want this to be very, very light. The contrast will be very, very light in this area. And then it'll get a little heavier, the contrast, as it goes down. But this is supposed to glow, like it's supposed to bleed out. So the very first thing I want to do is to put, I suppose, and I completely forgot what I did last time. I suppose I could watch the video, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this brush. This is a, this brush is a, I don't even know, I forgot what brand it is. It doesn't even, I can't find it right now. But it's got a square, it's a squeeze brush, and that's what I usually use are these squeeze brushes. So if you're curious about these brushes, I will have a description. I will have a link to these brushes in the description of this video if you want to use them too. These are not the recommended brushes to do watercolor in, because regular brushes are supposed to be the thing to do. And I've gotten so used to using these water brushes that that I don't use anything else. So what I'm doing is I'm adding. It's weird. This is a squeeze brush. It's got water. The brush has water in it, but I'm actually dipping my brush in water in this water jar, And I'm adding water just because it's easy. It's faster just to wet it this way instead of squeezing the water out. And the reason I'm doing that is so that the water that I add, the color that I add is going to bleed in all these areas. It's already wet and it's just going to bloom, I'm hoping. Okay, so I'm going to add yellow in here because it's yellow. The value yellow is it kind of is brighter than white. So I'm gonna do that here. By brighter than white, I mean that that sometimes it makes things pop even more than white does sometimes. And I overshot here. That area, this area right here, I'm not supposed to touch. It was supposed to be left white, so I'm gonna wipe that off. Luckily it's yellow, so it's not that big a deal. And on we go. Here we go. So this is my first pass of any kind of value at all. Okay, so I did that really, really fast, and now I'm going to try to add a little bit more. Oh, and maybe I should add a little bit of that yellow in here because this is going to be shadow as well. So anywhere there's going to be shadow, I want to add a little bit of yellow as my starting off point. Okay. Now that I got some yellow in here, I don't know. I will add like a yellow umber type color, which is if this yellow is what's the temperature? If this yellow is warm, this umber color is going to be cooler. And I don't want it, I want to keep it in the periphery. And not have it touch the yellow that I already put down. Although I do want this to blend, so I'll soften some of those edges there. Okay, so far so good. And then I will add a little bit of that in here. I don't know if it's picking that up. Come on, there. Okay, so that's what we've got so far. And now I'm gonna add a little bit more value here. So any place that's supposed to be shadow, I should just kind of darken in. Because I haven't done that yet. Okay. Now that I've added the general areas where I'm going to light and add dark, now I am going to add a darker value all around. And I'm going to work my way in. So the last time what I did was I took an orange or and so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take like a red orange kind of color. Because it's that orange will be a darker value. Maybe I'll mix it with the yellow, umber, so that they're already kind of mixed together. And I'm gonna put it on the outside here like this. It's like this is where I'm headed. I'm trying not to pick up my brush in that area. And I'm putting wet there to just kind of soften this transition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of this orange into this area here just to darken it, but I'm not going to hit the edges of the shape. Okay, so far kind of getting the effect I want. Sort of. Some of this is just too I need to wipe away some of the paint here. And now I'm going to darken this stuff even more. So I'm going to take a purple. And this all needs to be darker because that's not working at all. This area is like just totally not working at all. So I'm going to... It needs to be really dark. I'm wiping away the paint here. This just needs to be dark. So I'm adding purple in here just to make it dark. So I think what I need to do is wait for it to dry. Meanwhile, so I can make it darker. Meanwhile, I do need to soften this some of these edges here. There's some really hard edges. And I think it's not quite what I want. Like none of this is quite what I want. I do want the I do want this blooming glow here, but what's happening is I'm not getting any definition at all. So I can't go that. I can't go this this light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix. I really don't know what to do. I'm going to try mixing a little bit of orange in here just to make this and very wet and just to try to get a little bit of shadows. So I'm using a different brush now and I'm going in with detail. I'm going to try to define this stuff a little bit more with the wet orange. But not go all the way to the edge. By the edge, I mean the edge of the shape. Oops, and then I did exactly that. want to have that slight glow, that undefined glow. Here, I have some bleed. I'm gonna probably have to put white there, unfortunately, unless I can erase the color. No, I think I'm gonna have to put white. I'm gonna have to paint white. Okay, so I did all that just to, hopefully this is a little bit drier so I could add a little bit more value. I'm gonna get my big brush again. Be a little bit less wet, and then I'm gonna add the purple. Something I want to do down here is just kind of do that so that there's and then this transition here should be wet, should be softer. Maybe even add a little bit of blue at the edges here. Maybe it's just too wet. I just lifted the paint rather than put paint down. So I'll wait. Meanwhile, I think I could probably add a little bit more value down here. And then soften this edge here. Pick up the paint. Gotta lift some of that up. That blotch up here is really bugging me. There, that's better. And I think I can probably put slightly darker. Down here. Probably better if it's like a little purplish. Just gives it that much. It would have been a little bit prettier. But it needs to be wet here. I don't want any more paint. Just want soft colors running into each other. And I think that's it. There's a little bit of definition that needs to happen, or a little bit of bloom or something here. Okay, so there is some. I need to pick up some of this paint there. That's better. So there is some white I need to put in. And I'm going to put some white in here because this area here. I think what I'm really doing is just covering up that line. And there's an issue right here in this transition where it's just like light and then it's even lighter here. It's weird. I messed up. It's not supposed to do that. There. So there's a bit of a problem with the I think I need to define that front of the nose, even though I kind of don't want to. This front of the face needs to have better definition, so I'm going to go in with a better, sharper, more detailed brush. And I'm going to see if I can't define it so that it's, at least you can clearly see the shape. And this is with yellow. And here too. So at least it reads. And that red line is kind of in the way, it seems. See if I can't paint over it, but I don't think I can. So again, more painting with light this time, experimenting with painting with light. Um, and I think that's it. I'm just creating a glow, and I think that it does have a bit of a glow to it. You can just kind of make it out there. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how much I like that. I think I'm going to. I think I am going to to abandon the idea because I don't think it's working. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a harder value here and define this more. This isn't what I wanted. Yeah, so it just needed more contrast. It just doesn't. It didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I'm gonna change directions here. And that actually works better. I like that you could actually, that this area is now more defined. And it's clear. I think it works better, even though it doesn't, I was unable to do my original idea, execute my original idea. Um, At least now you can see the friggin' face, because that was the thing that was bothering me, is that you couldn't see the face at all. But I mean, that's kind of like the point of a glow, is not to be able to see the face as much. But I think you still need some contrast. I'm still trying to figure this out. You still need some contrast, or else you can't see anything. So one of the things that I'm not happy with at the moment is that this hair, it's supposed to be like, she's supposed to have bigger hair, but the shadow is supposed to be covering up the fact that she's got more hair. And what I've got here is something that makes her look like she has no hair. So I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this purple in here so that it looks like fill in the blanks. And I'm going to need to transition this into soft because it's too abrupt. I'm sure I'm breaking all kinds of watercolor do's and don'ts, which is why I'm having trouble with it. Like, I'm doing stuff that I'm not supposed to do with watercolor. Like, I'm overworking stuff. I'm putting stuff on wet areas. I'm being impatient. I'm no watercolor master. I'm squinting right now looking at this. This area is a mess. Look how much of a blotchy mess that is. That is because I was being impatient. It's supposed to look like one shape. One confident stroke. Can't undo that. And it's as if I need to kind of do something in here too that kind of fits that, but it's a little late to do that. To connect those two sections, I think. I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to try to connect those two sections, and even though they're not connectable. Okay, now I got to get rid of some of this. This is just too much. There's just way too much contrast in here, and it's not quite working. Now I left a blotch. Let's see if I can fix it. There we go. Like I said, I'm probably breaking a ton of don't do these things, watercolor things, which is why a lot of this stuff is looking kind of blotchy. But fortunately, it seems like I've kind of fixed some of that, and I think I kind of got it where I want it. And I think that's it. I think I'm done. If anything, I'm going to put a dot right here to define this shape a little bit more. And that's it. I think I'm done. That's it. So I didn't quite get what I wanted out of this. I'm going to soften some of these edges. I didn't get the quite the result I wanted. I thought that well, there is a glow to it. It's not like it doesn't have a glow. I just thought that it was going to be slightly different, but I think it kind of has the idea that I had in mind, where there was just like, wow, that person's loud. That the light is coming in here, and it's kind of having a glow effect to this. So there is a bit of a gradient thing here going on. I think that my issue was that I didn't want to really define the edges out here as much as I thought I should, and maybe that was a mistake, and so I came in and I darkened them in just to define them, and I think it kind of gives it what I wanted it to, even if that wasn't my original intent. So I'm using natural light to light this. Hopefully it's clear. I'm gonna add a little bit of white right here just to define this edge. Hopefully it's clear. Hopefully you can see this in the video. I'm looking and it looks like you can, but I started where there was sunlight outside. This is the window that's lighting this painting. There was a lot of sun coming in, and I'm like, yay, look at the sun. And then it became overcast real quick, and then as I was painting, it just became more and more overcast, which is annoying. So hopefully you can see the painting, but this is the result. It's actually I thought I blew it. I thought I blew it the whole time. I was like, I'm blowing it, but I think the result came out okay. Like, I'm like, hey, all right. It doesn't. I didn't completely blow it. I think it was. I think it's working. So, hooray. Perhaps this could be deleted here because this doesn't make any sense. So long, extra weird line that makes no sense. There you go. And I'll even paint over it just for good measure. Put some white on there. Yeah, and I think that's good. All right, yay. Okay, so you saw me totally screw up. I don't know what I'm doing a lot of the times when I'm doing these paintings, especially when I'm going to be trying to do something experimental, like adding a glow to reference that I don't have any reference for. Like, I don't have reference for the actual glow. I'm just inventing it, and it may not turn out, and it, well, sorta didn't ish. At least the idea that I was going for didn't quite pan out, but I think it at the end of the day it worked out. It gave me not quite the result that I can't say that I intended, because I had no idea what it was supposed to look like, to be honest. But it gave me a result that I like, which is good. And there's some hard edges there I'm trying to get rid of. All right, so that's it. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you'll learn something. At the very most, you learn to just keep going and try to figure it out things and experiment, and you just never know what you're gonna get and how you're gonna get it, and just keep on. It's okay to mess up and to learn as you go. All right, so thanks a lot for watching, and I will talk to you next time. All right, bye.